Hi, everyone. Okay, so I think we're going to start and we'll just admit people as they come along. Okay, so welcome, everyone. This is our weekly coffee chat. And for those of you who don't know what it's all about, it's basically just a forum where we share small business success stories. And we use it as a platform for people to learn and to gain a little bit of inspiration. And if you can just take one thing away from today, then we've actually achieved our goal with what we wanted to do with this forum. So let's just quickly go through the agenda. Oopsie. Okay, so being Women's Month, this is our second week now. So that's obviously business, women in business part 2. We're going to go and have a long chat to a personal trainer just now. And then we're going to have some Q&A, and we will do some takeaways from today's session, and then we'll wrap up. So let's go straight into what our chat is about today. So our chat is all about personal training, and it's specifically women in business. And the lady that we have today is Rene Du Preez. I know her otherwise, but I'll let her introduce herself. So I'm just going to do a quick bio, and then we'll chat to Rene. Okay, so there's a very nice picture of Rene here. She looks all dolled up there. Believe me, this is not how I normally see her on a weekly basis. She's a qualified sports scientist. She's got an honors degree in elite sport from Stellenbosch University. She's been working as a personal trainer here in Stellenbosch for about 5 years now. And she's been in the fitness industry for about 11 years. And she works with a wide variety of clients of all ages, different needs and different unique goals. And she specializes in functional training, sport-specific conditioning, resistance, cardiovascular fitness, powerlifting, and flexibility. And basically her passion is about improving overall health and fitness and believing that giving your best is good enough to make the change. Now, I dispute that last statement because my best was never good enough, Rene. But my first question before we go into the actual questions that we prepared is like, what's functional training? I know sports science is a very broad and wide field. And you say you're specializing in functional training. What is actually functional training?
Functional training, just to keep it short, is training for life, to be functionally strong. So you're not just training the bicep to look good, you're training the whole arm to be functionally strong, to connect to the body. It's full body movements to be strong as a whole. Just training for life.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into our first question then. So the first question is, why did you choose personal training as a vocation or a career?
Well, basically, during our studies in sports science, we covered everything. They introduced us to so many topics, the whole field of sports science. And then it gets narrowed down once you go into honors. You get 3 options, either elite sport, pediatric sports science, which is now kinderkinetics, or biokinetics. So I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to go into because we were exposed to so much. And then just to make sure that I get into honors, I decided to build my CV a little bit more. So I started working at RLActive in Durbanville as a casual over weekends. And that was the first time being in a commercial gym. I've never been growing up on a farm, I've never been in a gym like that. So it was also an experience for me to see how it works and to see how the personal trainers works. It was the first experience. So I was basically studying them as I worked there. And it looked interesting. It looked like an option for me eventually. And then as I was going on during our honors, I did a lot of extra research. We worked with top elite athletes. I decided to go to. So then while working with the elite athletes, I eventually started my master's degree, and we were exposed to so much, which made me realize that the topic I was researching at the time wasn't what I wanted to do. It was in sport history, but I did my honors research in biomechanics. So I decided to stop my master's and rather go out into the field of sports science and work with a lot of different people and decide for myself what it is that I want to research. And I've thought the only way possible is to be my own boss and have control over the experiences I get. So that's why I went over to Stellenbosch RLActive, which still gives me access to athletes and then everybody else.
Okay.
So that's why I turned to personal training. It's just to get the experience that I need and not be maybe thrown into video analysis and all the other interesting stuff, but that's not relevant to me now.
Okay. Well, that sort of leads us on to our next question then is, I've seen you do this at the gym a lot. So what was the journey to your specialization? Why, you mentioned that the field is extremely wide.
Yeah.
Okay, so but why specifically this specialization? What drew you to it?
To personal training.
Well, functional training, powerlifting, and a few of the other things that you do.
Well, basically, as I said, that I've had so much experience working with everybody and athletes and kids at schools. I also was an assistant for some lecturers at sports science department. So I did some guest lecturing. So getting experience in all of that just made me realize that I want to learn more about the body, more about the functional stuff, how it functions, how it can make you feel, the changes that you can bring on with different types of training. So I wanted to channel into that. And I was interested in very specific things. So that's why I wanted to take control, because working with the athlete, you still have the coach and the sports scientist above you, and you just basically take instructions. You're not the boss. So I just decided to take the lead and just do what I want. And the reason why I went into the functional training and stuff is just on my own body. I know the effects that it has. If I don't train, I don't feel good. And I wanted that for other people as well.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so my next question is more about this pandemic that we have gone through and busy going through. So how did COVID-19 affect you? How did you manage to survive? Specifically, think your base was at the RLActive gym, and now that's been closed for 5.5 months.
So yeah, it shut down immediately once the lockdown started, and it's still closed. So luckily, we were thinking ahead, and also we got good guidance from our managers as well. They said, listen, don't wait for the gym to open up. Start something else. In the meantime, stay busy. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when the gyms are opening up. Obviously, we are a very high risk area, so just find something in the meantime. So suddenly, because we are in a no work, no pay job, we had to make a plan. We can't wait and blame RLActive. When you guys are opening up, they are still fighting with the government. Nobody knows. So basically what I did, I had to adapt immediately and change my business from practical sessions at the gym to online. So the challenges there was suddenly now I have to make sure that I know exactly how online training works. I have to write internet connections, working at home with family. It was a big change, but that was basically what we did, or what I did to survive. I took my whole business online, and at first I offered everything to my current clients. I offered them programs, Zoom sessions, anything possible, whether they were paying or not. It was just an effort for me to keep them with me and keep them trusting me that I'm not going to drop them. And that worked. That worked. It wasn't easy. I'm still more a practical person than I am what do you call it, an IT guy, but we had to change over online overnight, and it's been great. It's been challenging, but yeah, we make it work.
Okay.
We had to.
Now that leads me into my next question, is that before the lockdown, you had a series of programs and services that you were offering, and they were quite successful.
Yeah.
Okay, because your picture is always the first one on the wall at the gym. You're always busy. You can never find a slot with you. So then, now that lockdown, kicked in, how do you get new clients and keep existing ones? What marketing channels do you use, and which ones were best for you? And what I didn't put on this question is also the third part of this question is you offered a whole range of services. So now, obviously, some of them don't lend themselves to an online type of business.
Yeah.
So which ones did you have to cut off, and which new services did you have to develop, or did you just shrink the whole service suite?
I basically just did a whole makeover to everything that I've been doing. I gave the option to the client. My current existing clients, I contacted first. So I let them know, listen, I'm going online now. Do you want Zoom sessions? Do you want programs? So the existing clients, it depends on the client themselves if I trust them with certain movements or not. So the weightlifting, the powerlifting clients that have been lifting with me for years, I trusted enough to give them powerlifting programs. But for clients that's not familiar with the techniques and stuff, I would stick with more simple movements just to keep them reaching their goals. So with marketing, luckily, I was lucky enough that most of my clients stayed on. And at first, I wasn't sure how this is going to work. If I will have enough time, how's it going to work with the baby at home? My husband's never at home, and I wasn't sure. So I was scared to market too much because if I get in too many clients, I wasn't sure if I would be able to keep them or help them, accommodate them. So at first I just contact my current clients. And what happened from there is word of mouth. They started talking and referring their friends and family to me. And that ended up filling up my whole timetable now. But the marketing that I got for online programs that I just do a custom training program, send out and check up on, and I don't have to do Zoom sessions with, there I can handle a little bit more clients. So there I needed more clients. So what helped me there a lot was the fitness challenges that I've been running.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so super basic stuff that you can do on the spot at home without any equipment. Sometimes some of the challenges will include a set of dumbbells or a skipping rope, but very basic. The word started spreading. I got in a lot of clients through that. It was basically a modified home workout for lockdown, and it did well. So that helped with the online group. But with the Zoom sessions, and now that we're a little bit more mobile, I'm also doing home training sessions. I was sticking with current clients and their referrals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're doing Zoom sessions, do you find that it's just a whole bunch of people watching you, or are you actually watching each one individually?
Well, it's only one-on-one. I don't do I don't do the group sessions. Some of them are more than one, but it's exactly the same as in the gym. So for instance, it would be me and the client, me instructing the client what to do. Sometimes I'll show them. Most of the time they know exactly what to do, and I just train them as if I would at the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right. So now you're a new mom. You have a husband who's working 15-hour shifts. How do you put all of this together? How do you handle this? Being a young person, new mom, husband who's hardly ever at home, there's COVID lockdown, you've had to change your whole business and repivot yourself. So what has been your biggest challenge to overcome?
Well, in the first 5 seconds, if you think about it, the first thing that comes to my mind is it's a disaster. It really is a disaster. But then I just pulled myself together, and before lockdown, we had a busy schedule, hectic schedule already. It was all planned up perfectly with my husband's long shifts and his night shifts, especially. That was challenging. We were challenged already before lockdown. So lockdown just basically, it was just another thing that was challenging for us, just added to the challenge. But we were ready for it. I would say it was hard. It's already hard with Etienne not being home most of the time, but when he is home, he helps a lot. So he also adapted. He's currently doing his master's in paramedic science, so when he's home, he has to study. But he also makes time to help me and babysit while I do Zoom sessions. We kind of we work together. So my toddler is now at a stage where he's very needy, and I can't just leave him for 6 hours and see 6 clients. I might leave him for or do an hour or 2 with him on my lap playing and breaking things, but I can't do that for 6 hours. And usually at the gym I would be 12 hours. So that was quite challenging. And also the mom guilt was very hard because I also don't want to just put on something on TV and leave him there. So it was challenging, but luckily most of my clients know my little toddler and they said it's fine, he can be in the Zoom sessions. So he was in most of the training sessions before school opened up. It was chaos at some points, but my clients were so accepting of that. But now that school's opened up, it's been easier. I can move around now, and I have time for my laptop now without somebody wanting to run away with it. So yeah, that was the biggest challenge, is the mom guilt. I would say the mom guilt, because I can't focus if I have somebody crying here and needing me. But overall, we made it. It was actually, my clients played a big role in it. Every single one of them said it's fine. We can jump.
That's interesting, because I know that my wife now does once a week training with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the rest of the week, because we can't go to gym, we also have to do these online training sessions.
Yeah.
And these things that you watch on YouTube, is all these trainers seem to have their kids in and around them, or their dogs and whatnot. And there just seems to be a tremendous amount of forgiveness, or
People can relate.
Yeah, they can relate.
relate.
And maybe this whole online, the lockdown thing has led to an online people who are actually more humane.
Yeah.
We're more humans than walking around in stiff suits and
Exactly. They see your environment, your home. I get to know my clients' kids and animals, and they always love to see my dogs. And it's actually personal training at another level. It's even more personal now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go to our next question. So, obviously, you're a rather busy young lady. So, where do you? And you also mentioned that you don't have a business background. So you went from school to study sports science.
Yeah. We had a business module for one term in honors, and yeah, we didn't really know what was going on. We just wanted to go outside and do something physical, and then it was very short. It wasn't ineffective. It actually just made us realize we don't know anything.
But isn't that the whole point of education? It's like the more you learn, the actually more you realize how much you don't know.
Yes, that was exactly what it was. So that was a very stressful thing for me, moving over to personal training. Suddenly now having to run my own business. But we learn as we go, and there's a lot of platforms that do offer support for us with regards to that.
So who do you actually bounce your ideas off and get advice?
Well, I do talk to a lot of other professionals. I talk to my lecturers still. I talk to fellow students or other PTs. So I talk to people in my environment, and we discuss our client situations. We would call a case study, so we won't discuss the client or their names or anything, just their situation. So we bounce off ideas. Some of the trainers might have had the same situation. Sometimes you get a client with a dodgy knee, or you get a client with a completely messed up knee. Or I think the hardest one for me, where I had to talk to the university, was one of my clients had a paragliding accident. So he crashed cracked part of his skull. His shoulder was completely messed up. His hips was messed up. His knees were gone. So the doctors said he'd never walk again. But then he wanted to start boxing. So I started working his upper body, and we realized as we were training, there was some movement in his legs. There was nothing wrong with the muscles. It's just the joints were completely shattered. So I talked to the bios and the lecturers at the university, and eventually we got this guy walking again. So I have to be in contact with the professionals around me all the time. But besides that, I do read a lot. I read all the time. I read research articles, but also Virgin Active does offer us a platform where we can stay current with all the current research and earn CEC points. And we have to earn 24 CEC points every year. So that keeps us current as well. It helps a lot because it's all research from the Sports Science Institute of South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, you mentioned that you obviously you talk about yourself and your support group about medical cases. So, your industry is classified as medical.
Yeah.
So, are there any ethical concerns that your business needs to deal with?
Yeah, I would say definitely injuries, and then client confidentiality. You have to offer the client a safe space, safe environment to train with or to train in, and you have to screen them completely so you know exactly what's going on, and so you don't injure your client or put them in a dangerous situation. And then client confidentiality is very important because it's such a personal thing. Some journeys aren't just being better at sport or being a better runner. Some is very personal. Some of them are medical issues. People don't want everybody to know about the struggles. So the client confidentiality is a big thing. And now with the COVID things, the COVID regulations also, you can't offer home training if you're not there with your hand sanitizer and your mask and doing what you need to do. When I go to clients' homes, I don't touch the doors. They open the doors for me. I show them what equipment they need to get. I demonstrate without equipment. I don't touch anything. I stay far away from them. I don't touch them. So I think also staying within the COVID regulations is also a big thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you are extremely busy. So what does this personal trainer do to relax and time out?
Well,
do you have time to time out?
This personal trainer only times out when clients cancel. No, I don't always like that. So what I like to do is I try to not bring my work home. So I don't like training at home. We were forced to train at home now during the lockdown. But now some of my friends run CrossFit gyms. So we train at their gyms now, and I have to take the equipment out of my house. So I can relax at my house because my job is just training and exercising. So when I get home, I don't want to see another dumbbell or a treadmill in front of me. I just want to relax. So family time definitely, because as you hear, our hours are quite long. I'm 12 hours away, my husband's 15 hours away, and then our little toddler is in school all day. So when we get time to spend together, we really focus on that. And I also have 2 English bulldogs at home, Emma and Maggie. We do spend a lot of time with them. So for me, that is more than enough. Just switching off, not even looking at my cell phone or laptop, and just being at home. That is enough. I don't need to go do anything. I'm doing stuff all day. I just need to be at home. That is my
sanctuary.
Yeah, and I absolutely love my job. It's so fulfilling that when I get home, I don't need to go out and do anything more, because I meet new people, I meet interesting people. Every hour is different. It's a challenge every hour. So when I get home, I'm quite fulfilled. So I just need to sit.
Just chill.
I just need to sit.
Okay. All right. So our next thing now is when we open it up to questions from people. So I think it's fascinating. You can get them. I mean, you normally see personal trainer, they're the one in good shape to walk around in these fancy new outfits, or whoever's sponsoring the gym for that particular month. And they're always in good shape. And we sort of put them on a pedestal, but you don't actually realize how hard the people actually work. Okay. So I'm going to open it up now to questions. So anybody got questions out there, please ask questions. No one's got questions today. Wow, I think they're so intimidated by you.
I've got one.
Yes.
Hi, Rene. Listen, what I'd like to know is during this whole COVID thing, you've changed your business model completely, and we spoke about how much of the old are you going to keep, and how much of the new are you going to keep of what's been going on?
To be honest, we don't know what's coming for us. So if the gyms do open up, we don't know what it's going to offer us. We don't know if the hours are going to be the same, if the setup's going to be the same, what amount of clients will be allowed into the gym. So for now, I'm going to keep it as it is, the adaptations that I made for lockdown. And then once the gyms open up, I'm going to see what they can offer us and then make a new plan. So for now, I'm just winging it. I'm just doing whatever the clients need, and I give them what they need. Sometimes it's some of the old stuff, and some of it is completely new.
Okay.
From this whole, what I hear what you say now, but sort of ask a follow-up question. We've seen that there's a lot of uncertainty, as you explained just now. Do you think that for all the personal trainers or people in your field, this uncertainty has provided opportunities, or has it really been a drawback for your business?
Well, it depends on how you see it. I know a lot of my friends made new plans, and they actually realized they want to open their own businesses, or they would rather go into something else. So there's definitely a positive side to this. It forced us to experience new things and take the leaps. A lot of my friends did open up their own little gyms or their own online businesses. And some of them are still waiting for the gyms to open up. So it depends on how you approach this, but there's definitely opportunities, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, can I ask a question? My name is Adolf. I don't think I'm on video. I just want to. I think my questions might have been a bit unfair, but you kind of answered partly my part of the question I was going to ask. I was going to ask you, where do you see yourself maybe in 10 years' time? But now you also alluded to some of your friends starting their own businesses. Do you see yourself doing something similar? Yeah, that's my first question. I'll ask you another question thereafter.
It's been in the back of my mind for years now to start my own business, because we get so comfortable at the gyms that we actually can do it. But the thing is, if you think about it, we don't pay much. Our rent seems high at the gym, but we pay that amount of money for a world-class gym with the best equipment, with insurance, cleaners, maintenance. So then it actually isn't that much money. For me to set up my own gym, even the smallest gym with only one of each of the equipment, it will cost me a lot more, and I would have to charge my clients a lot more, and I don't think they will be able to afford that. So the option is there, but there's still a lot that the gyms can offer us.
Okay, the second question I wanted to ask you, is there any contract in place, like a restraint of trade or any agreement that prevents you from starting your own business and taking clients that you currently have at Virgin Active to your own business? And if they were to if there's nothing in place, if they were to make you such an offer, would you try to resist it? What do you see what's your opinion on such a clause in a contract such as yours?
Not that I know of. What I do know is that some of my PT friends do run other businesses that's similar, and their clients train either there or at Virgin Active. As far as I know, we are only Virgin Active trainers when we are under their roof. So outside, they have no business what we are doing. So I don't think there's any rule in place that if we do start our own businesses, that we can't take our clients with us. If they would be, I would definitely try and fight that. I understand that, but yeah, as far as I know, a lot of trainers have been getting away with that. And the gyms are aware of it. Our gym is aware of some of our trainers that have their own gyms that have clients training either there or at Virgin Active, or moving over to them completely. So, and that's never been a problem. So as far as I know, it's fine.
Thanks. Good luck, Rene.
Cool. Any other questions from anybody? Okay, so no other questions. So the last part of our coffee chat session is what we call the takeaways. So what we do here, Rene, is we sort of extrapolate everything that you said and said, well, these are the key points about what makes your little business successful. So it's like, you play to your strengths. You know, and I'm not referring to the powerlifting. You do have a passion for people. You've proven to be adaptable. Your marketing is working on word of mouth referrals. And I liked your comment to me in the email where you said that you like this Latin phrase of "Carpe diem," seize the day.
Yeah.
You know, so if there's an opportunity in front of you, then you grab it.
Definitely, because every day is different. You don't know when some virus are going to come around and close your gym. So I definitely say be open to change and definitely take opportunities once they come around.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so let's just wrap up. So if you've got any questions or you need any help, then you can either mail myself or Leilani on the emails on the screen. If there's nothing else, then I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will chat again next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.